Oh yeah, pipe smokers. This is the Paul Gilson YouTube channel, and I'm Paul Gilson, aka Paul the Pipe Guy. Yeah, and it's Wednesday the 26th of June. Yeah, 2024. This is our Wednesday night smoke together. I have my pipe already loaded. This is my Rhodesia pipe. I probably pronounced that wrong. It's a bowl number 00. It was custom made by one of my mates across the pond under his direction, and he told the pipe maker, don't have the letter here, exactly what he wanted this pipe to be for me, and it is the greatest smoker I have. And in that, we have some Black Frigate. Yeah, some Black Frigate, and that is Latakia. And Turkish are added to our Blockade Runner Navy Cavendish. Virginia is soaked and aged in rum to produce a true Royal Navy blend, pressed and cut into an old-fashioned crumble cake, which I like. It's easier than plug. You just grab a piece off and rub it out on a cutting board. The plug you got to cut up, and it takes a lot more time. So I knew I had an open tin. Now, this was gifted to me by James R. out of Phoenix, Arizona. He was so kind to gift me two wonderful tins, some Afternoon Delight by Cornell and Deal, and some Black Frigate. And I didn't want to open the new tin because I knew I had some. I've got one tin in my cellar. And then I had this left over, which has been perking. I opened this tin on 7/19 of 2021. So it's really, let's say, 3 years old. And man, let's smell it. Latakia Rich, aged. Oh, it's to die for, and I haven't smoked this in forever. And I want to show you certain tobaccos, different tobaccos will age differently, and I want to show you, okay? But let's set something on fire, okay? Oh, my favorite pipe. One of my favorite blends. Very well packed. The first 25% of my bowl, I load the bowl up 25%, all right? And then I take my tamper, and I basically just set just the weight of the tamper on it, and I put maybe just a tiny bit of pressure. Then I put my second in, now I'm up to maybe a half bowl, and then put just a tiny little bit of pressure on that, and then I fill the bowl up, and then I kind of put more pressure on it as I'm going up the bowl. And that's how you pack your bowl real good. You want it real loose on the bottom. You don't want it tight all the way through. As Brad the Bearded Piper would say, and check him out, Brad the Bearded Piper, great guy. It's better to pack your pipe, I think he says it's better to pack your pipe too light than too heavy or something. I don't know. Whatever. I can't remember. It's better to pack your pipe too light than too tight. Oh, this is so good. Now, if you notice, I've smoked this pipe quite a bit. Notice the top of the bowl is like perfectly clean. That's because after the bowl cools down, I know this sounds terrible, But in all seriousness, I mean, this pipe here I've smoked quite a bit. Top of the bowl, perfectly clean. The reason why, and you'll see pipes that have like lava flowing over the top of them. That's not even a great example. I mean, I don't have one in front of me here, all right? I've seen pipes with actual lava that has flown over the top. And the reason is when I'm done with my pipe, when it's 100% cooled down, I will actually really wet the top of the bowl up, and then I'll rub it on the back of my jeans until it gets any charcoal built up or any... It doesn't start as charcoal buildup. It starts as like, I don't know, kind of like a tarry buildup. And then the more you light it and the more you smoke it, it turns into carbon, and all of a sudden it looks like you have a volcano coming out of your pipe. And I've seen it actually flow down the outsides of pipes before. And you don't want to do that. So, cheers. I love thunder and lightning storms, and I really thought that we were going to have a good one. It started raining a little bit, and I could hear it off in the distance, and I was like, oh. Because we haven't had a good thunder and lightning storm this year at all. Man, there's something about aged tobacco. I want to grab a couple of tins, and I want to show you something. I'll be right back in a nanosecond. Okay, so we're back. So every tobacco ages differently depending on the blends. And really, when the tobacco ages, really what it's doing is it's fermenting. It really is. Now, when the tobacco, rather, is locked up in the tin, it basically is vacuum sealed, so there's very little oxygen in there. Oxygen is what allows your tobacco to really age. If it's vacuum sealed, it ages very slowly. Now, I've seen, I think it's Sergeant Savinelli or somebody may have had a 20-year-old tin of something, and the top was bowed up, the bottom was bowed. There was some pressure in there. Now, normally, hi, Callie. Hi, baby. Normally, when you get a tin, let me pick a newer tin here. Yeah, so this Black Frigate, the born on date on this was 1/3/2024, so it's only about 5 months old. And you can see the tin is totally flat on the top, and I'm talking this part right here. And it's flat on the bottom, nothing's bulging. And that's some Black Frigate. Now, look at this tin that I have of Black Frigate. That, the tin date on that is 2/15/2021, so really almost 3.5 years old. You can see the bottom is bulging out. You see the difference? Yeah, you can see the difference. That center ring is bulged out. You look at the top. It's bulging. Look at that as compared to this. I mean, you know, look at that. See the pull handle? It's nice and flat. See how that one is popped up? You can see it real good right there. Yeah, that's bulged. All right. That tobacco has been fermenting in there for 3.5 years. And I don't know which tobacco is aged differently. I do know this, that when you open up a tin, you should put it right in a mason jar, man. And I've told this story before. A good friend of mine, his grandfather passed away. And both his grandfather and him, which he's a lot younger than me, he's only in his early 40s, they were both pipe smokers. And so, of course, he inherited his grandfather's pipes. And his grandfather, I guess, had quite the collection of tobacco. And it was all stored in mason jars. So my friend's over here, and he's smoking a cob pipe, and we're talking about that. He says, man, you won't believe this. He says, I opened up a mason jar, a ball mason jar that my grandfather had, the top cranked down. He had the date on it too. He must have been a lot like me. He had what the tobacco was written on the top, just like I do, and when it was jarred. And he said some of that tobacco was over 40 years old. Moist as moist. He said it was just like I just took it out of the tin. So when you open up a tin, it's worth it to spend $27, all right? Get yourself, these are 12-ounce ball mason jars. They fit a 2-ounce tin perfectly in them. Get one of these, order 24 of them for $27. And then they got these little stickers that you can buy. They're canning stickers like that. So you can write all the stuff on it. It's important. Someday it's going to be important to them to know who owned this tobacco. So on every one of mine, you'll see my name on the top, Paul Gilson. This one is Officers Club. The tin date was 7/2021, and I opened it on 2/4/2022. It's got all the information right there, right on that little sticker. I handwrite it right on there. If you're ordering in bulk, that'll hold almost a pound. Probably about 10 ounces. 10, 12 ounces, I don't know. This Black Frigate is so good. So, we've got this other tin that I've actually had sitting out forever. The tin date on this is 10/28/2021, and it's Two Friends Bed and Breakfast. Same thing. Popped up top, popped up bottom. You can see it. It just goes like that. And there's pressure on it from inside. See that? You know, unlike the bottom of this newer tin. Well, you can definitely see the difference. Yeah, right there. So that one, you know, is aging. I got this buddy of mine talked me into this Scottish crumble cake called Loch Ness, which is, I love this stuff. And Gregory Pease did it. This is from 6 of 2022. And that tin, it's a much stronger tin, so it's not really, it's kind of popping up a little bit, but not really too much. But it's a different blend. We've got this that I wrote on there from Mark Hill, Welsh Piper 62, gifted 2/28 of 2022. And the tin, this was tinned on 10/29 of 2021. That one's popping up. So it went from being shrunk. We've got some Seattle Pipe Club bourbon barrel aged plum pudding. That one, the tin is not popping up on it at all. That's from 6 of 2021 is when I got it. Yeah. So it all ages differently. If I took this out and put it in a mason jar, it would be aging. It would be fermenting. Yeah. And I've got my beautiful Jack from Jack the Piper. This is called a Greek column tamper. Mark Hill gifted the pipe. Eddie gifted this beautiful tamper, and I use it all the time. I love it. Just like I love my buddy from a brother from another mother, Mark Hill. So, for those of you that are still with me on our Wednesday night smoke together, I belong to an organization, actually a few of them, but this particular organization I belong to, which I'm going to keep it private. I'm not going to say what it is, but they wanted to put in a 4-foot by 14-foot patio in the front of the organization. So they send out a group email to all the members. Hey, does anybody know how to do concrete work? And of course I answered it right away and I said, yeah, I know how to do that. I did that for a living. I still have all the tools. Great, Paul. We're going to have a board meeting and we'll discuss it. Which I get that. I mean, you know, if you have an organization, you really need to be organized, have a board meeting and sit down and say, hey, this guy says he knows how to do this. They've all seen my truck. I ran a concrete business for 22 years. And so they get back to me and said, yeah, thank you so much. Looks like you're the lead dog, which means that I'm in charge of making sure that this happens in the correct manner. And so then they were like, you know, one guy's like, well, you know, we're going to have to dig it out and this and that and to put forms in and blah, blah, blah. And one guy's like, yeah, I know a guy that's got a Bobcat excavator. And the other guy's like, no, we don't need that. We have a tractor down there with a, loader on the front, that'll work. And listen to all these guys like argue. And so then the main guy that's heading this up, he says, all right, well, we're going to have a meeting about this for everyone that's going to be helping out. We're going to put our heads together, which makes sense. He says, we're going to do it on Wednesday. 2 days later, he's like, sorry, we got to reschedule the meeting for Thursday. My wife has some plans for me. Then two other guys are like, well, I can't make it on Thursday. You said Wednesday. Now this is turning into a clusterfuck. And because they made me top dog, if this doesn't go down right, guess who they're going to blame? Yours truly. So I'm thinking about it. And, then the guy sends out an email. Well, we're going to do the meeting on this Thursday, and that's it. I didn't quite like that too well. So I thought about it for a couple days, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be any part of this fuckfest show, this shit show. I'm not going to be a part of it. So I just texted the guy and said, hey, it's Paul Gilson here. And for personal reasons, I'm going to be bowing out of this project. Sorry for any inconvenience. Two days later, I got an email. That's okay. Thanks anyways, for wanting to help out. If you got a lead dog, man, you don't email a bunch of people. First of all, there's too many damn people. It only takes 2 guys to do this. Actually 3. 1 guy to dig the thing out, and then 2 guys to put the forms together, and those same 2 guys can do a sidewalk. It's easy. A concrete sidewalk. It's not a big thing. You don't need 8 or 10 people involved with all these different mindsets and ideas. So, instead of emailing, putting an email out, we're going to have a meeting this night, you call, your key people and say, hey, are you available this night? No, I'm not. Okay, are you available? What nights are you available? Then you contact the other people involved. All right, what nights are you available? Now you have a list of when they are available. And then you send out a group email. Looks like everybody's available on Friday. Let's do the meeting at Friday at 5 o'clock. What do you guys think? You all said you were available that day. Are we in? And then you roll with it. It's hard enough to do concrete work without having 10 different minds thinking 10 different things, okay? Because you have to work the concrete. You set the forms up, and then you do it the day before. You don't want to be doing it the day of. You get all the forms set up, then you have the concrete delivered the next day. They pour it, you got your crew there. It just really takes 2 guys for that job. And you get it done. And, hope it doesn't rain. And if it does, you better be prepared and have plastic there to cover your work. Anyways, I'm Paul the Pipe Guy. I'm going to finish this bowl up. Glad I bowed out of that one. Happy pipe smoking pipe smokers. Over and out.